Dawn Williams, a certified life coach specializing in emotional wellness, and welcome to Ask the Coach. In each episode, we will be dealing with common emotions, situations, thought processes, habits that all of us encounter, from the small annoying ones all the way up through the big messy ones. And hopefully, by sharing evidence-based science with you, some of the theories that actually contribute quite a bit to our understanding of what it takes to be a happy person in this world, and some tricks I've picked up along the way through my own experience, hopefully will get you living the life you want to live. Now, today we're talking about fear. Fear is that thing we go out of our way to seek out around Halloween and have a great time getting our pants scared off. And the rest of the year, we do our best to avoid it. Fear is a huge emotion, and it is a very important one. Its sole purpose is to ensure our survival. We feel afraid when there is a perceived threat, and our body reacts in a way that prepares us to take action as appropriate to save our lives. So in the days when saber-toothed tigers were roaming the earth and one happened to be chasing you, fight or flight, definitely would be the way to go. But the things we have to fear today, while some of them are life-threatening, a lot of them are less so. They're threats to our way of being, our way of living, and the brain doesn't know the difference. So we still feel that big fear. I want to read a quote to you that I came across as a scared young adolescent during a time of my life when things weren't going well and I was just starting to figure it out. It comes from a novel called Dune. You may have read it. I was big into sci-fi back then. And it's really relevant to this discussion. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass through me and over me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. And where fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. This quote is so relevant in a discussion about fear, especially when we're living in unprecedented times. None of us have experienced a pandemic before. And we're still not very close to a vaccine or a cure. And this seems to be affecting a lot of people in different ways, from complete quarantine for those who feel they're at higher risk, to limiting our activities, which could be a really smart choice, to just living with this low-grade sense of something's not right. I don't know why. Something's not right. This comes up in coaching and even in casual conversations with family and friends quite often. The problem with fear is that our survival is so important. The emotion that gets our attention, when there's a potential threat is huge. It overpowers you. It takes over you, which is part of what I loved about this quote. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. That may as well be literally true, because what we've discovered is that when an emotion, which is controlled by the limbic system, is in full force, we do not have access to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that does our logical thinking, the part of our brain that knows, no, there are no saber-toothed tigers chasing me, the part of the brain that knows, oh my God, that huge spider that's coming down and about to land on my head can be avoided if I just take a step backwards, okay? Fear makes it difficult to see your options and to make wise choices. So learning how to control fear especially in these times of uncertainty, is paramount. I'd like to share a couple of techniques you can use if fear is one of the issues that is making life more difficult than it needs to be right now. First of all, if you find yourself in the grips of fear, take some deep breaths. You need to change your physiology in order to control the emotion. Just pay attention to the breath entering your body, filling your belly, and then leaving your body again. And a few deep breaths usually will allow you to start to feel a subtle sense of relaxation. Start describing in as much sensory detail as you can, out loud if you can, where you are and what's happening. I am in my office. I'm sitting in my chair. I feel my feet flat on the floor. I hear birds chirping outside. I see the wind blowing the tops of the trees through the window. I smell fresh coffee. That's right. I started some coffee. Okay, so I'm here. I'm safe. I'm in my office. I'm safe. When you get to that point, then you can begin to think. Now, that doesn't mean the emotion will completely go away, but movement helps. Why not stand up, walk around a bit, or go get that cup of coffee and let yourself enjoy the aroma of it, the warmth of it. Oh yeah, the taste of it too. Coffee is awesome. Get yourself grounded in the present and then address what you think caused the fear. Name the problem. Consider some of the possible actions you can take to address it. If the house is not on fire, you have the luxury of time to think through, what would my best option be at this point? And then take action. Now, I want to add a caveat to this because with the uncertainty that we're living with and the free-floating fear that we may be experiencing, it's important to know that preparing yourself, educating yourself, gaining as much information as possible, that is incredible ammunition. I mean, when the pandemic first started, even before our state mandated sheltering at home, I sheltered at home. I was terrified. I gave up all of the activities that I loved, that were so much a part of my life. They were actually part of my identity. And it took me a while to get to the point where I could start thinking this through. Educating myself helped. Listening to the new findings of scientists all around the world helped. Finding credible sources, and that does not include social media. If you are feeling anxious about what's going on in the world, stay off social media or limit your time on social media or follow the posts, the groups, the people who inspire you and fill you with more positive emotion. And stay away from the sensational headlines because they're not doing you any good. They're just giving more fuel to the fear. So educate yourself. Learn how to stay safe. If this is a problem other than the virus we're facing right now, of course, educate yourself about that. Perhaps you're having financial issues because of the economic upheaval we went through. Call your bank, call your mortgage company, call the SBA, call unemployment. There are so many relief programs in place right now, and there are options. And I know that these really, truly are scary times. And I'll be really honest with you. I'm a little scared too. It's kind of hard to navigate this. But we don't have to allow fear to make our decisions for us. we can stop and think and act in appropriate ways. And we can go beyond that. In spite of what we're living with, we can find ways to make our lives what we want them to be. And I'll bring you some tips on how to do that in future episodes. For now, thank you for joining me. I want to give a shout out to my amazing videographer, Corey Lusk, to my manager, Alan Lusk, both at CalVisions in the Chicago area. Their contact information is in the show notes. Be sure, if you found this useful, to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll be covering things that address all aspects of life, and I really want you to get the most out of this that you possibly can. Also, please visit my website at www.selfpoweredchange.com. You'll find a lot more information and resources there. And you're always welcome to reach out to me by email. There's a contact form on the website. Again, thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful life. See you next time.